Well, hi, hello, and how are you doing out there in internet land? My name is Brian Trippett. I am the Front Porch Conservative, and welcome to the Thursday night newsroom, that fun little thing we do where we get together, we talk about the news, we give our views, and we try to make sense of this crazy thing that we call life. Again, my name is Brian Trippett. I am the Front Porch Conservative, and sometimes I'm referred to as the kid in the lid. Sometimes I'm called the beau in the chapeau, sometimes referred to as the common man with common sense. But in this moment, as always, I am your host. We are on Rumble, we are on Twitter, and we are on that quaint little alternative social media platform known as YouTube. So please do me some favors if you would not mind. I'd greatly appreciate it. Number one, if you're not subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and do so. You can subscribe to me on YouTube and you can subscribe to me on Rumble. And while you're at it, hit the bell for notifications. Let's make sure you're always aware when we're getting ready to do something new and interesting on this channel, like a live stream or a video. Also, leave a thumbs up tonight. Leave a comment in chat. It really does help with the algorithm. And finally, just share the link with your friends. Anything you can do to help grow this channel, we would greatly appreciate it. All right, let's see who all is here tonight. And we'll get started because we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Holy cow, I got what I think is a pretty good live stream lined up for this evening. We'll see what you guys think about it as we go along. Yes, the wing nuts are in the house. Yes, it's going to be a good one. It's a really good one, daggone it. Are we live yet? Are the squirrels still? Oh, really? Really? You're going to go right there, are we? Oh, boy. Anyway, we know the wing nuts are in the house. Gypsy's here this evening. Mwah. Good evening, my love. Listening for the first few minutes, cleaning up. Oh, sorry. Hear about the kitty not being well. You know, I've told Zippy, you got to lay off that catnip, man. Sooner or later, you're going to start praying to the porcelain god or worse, up chucking all over the place. So, look, Gypsy, I'm glad you're helping out Zippy tonight. He greatly appreciates it, I'm sure. As well, he should. No, I did not forget to shave. I just didn't have a chance to do so. And hello to you, TBA. Oh, good Lord. He's looking for his shirt. You can always take I do not always take as long as I need. I simply take as much as, necessary. No more than that. Oy vey. Yay. Oh, hello, Miss Jessica. Happy Thursday. I'm sipping water. I don't know what you're drinking out there in the great state of Colorado, but we know you're putting down a good one, my dear. Cheers to you. And as always, follow this lady on Twitter. She is absolutely laying down truth and fun all at the same time. One of the classiest ladies west of the Mississippi River. Let's see who else is here. Yolo Yoko. Cat came right out when I purged. Well, apparently, the lady was visiting with mutual friends, and the mutual friends have a very small dog. And for some reason, at the sound of my voice, this dog, which could be barking all day long, just gets very calm. So apparently, I have an effect on dogs and cats. I don't know. Well, I joke about that, but you know what? What can I tell you? Oh, goodness, look who's here. Look who is here. Good evening, Miss Pate. I believe Pate. Your name changed on me. Lady and the Tramp, huh? Well, something close to that. Let's see. Who else is here? Am I missing people? Could be I'm missing people. We'll see. Lana, how are you, dear? Mwah. Glad to have you in the house. Have I forgotten anybody? No, I think that about covers it all. This is Rhonda Santos. Okay. Hello, Rhonda. Glad to have you in the house. Why is your name not showing up? I wonder. YouTube's been really weird lately for a lot of different reasons. This is just one more example of that. What can I tell you? All right. We'll be greeting other people as they make their way in to the electronic front porch. And Good to have you guys here now. Like I said, I've got quite a few things lined up this evening. Uh, yeah, I know. YouTube being whack is just shocking. Mm. Uh, Name what it's probably the better question is what isn't going on with YouTube? That's probably the better way of asking yourself the questions. Ah, eesh. Mm. Well, they can always do that. They can always do that, my friend. So I would totally understand if they did. Anyway, all right, glad to have you guys here. We got a bunch of memes to get to. We got a bunch of news stories to talk about. Yeah, like I said, we got a bunch of fun stuff to get into. So let's just dive right in. Now, as you guys know, there is still in this country an ongoing controversy as it relates to H-1B visas. Trump says we need more of them, at least to train our people long enough in order for us to get up to speed so we can start, making, high value products, which is going to bring good jobs. Other countries are upset that all the H-1B visa people are coming here and we're draining talent out of their countries, et cetera, and so on. Well, Canada has finally had enough. Apparently, our good neighbors to the north are going to make a concerted effort to try and take as many H-1B visa holders out of the United States as they can and ship them to the great north. And let me tell you something. Everywhere throughout the economy, the ripple effects of this are being felt. But I tell you what, there is one industry above all others that is scared to death that we might actually be about ready to lose that many H-1B visa holders. I tell you what, the people that run 7-Eleven are absolutely scared to death. I mean, they are terribly frightened of the possibility of what happens if, Canada starts making a run on our folks who have H-1B visas. I mean, where are you going to find? I mean, honestly, ask yourself this question. Where are you going to find highly skilled and very qualified cashiers to operate and run our 7-Elevens? I mean, seriously. So you begin to understand why people are getting totally, totally upset throughout the American economy about this idea of Canada raiding our H-1B visa holders and just taking them up north. Terrible situation to be in, folks. Absolutely terrible. So hopefully this all works out for the best, but I just want you guys to be aware this is going on. Anyway, there's a lot about Obamacare that we can say that we really don't like. I mean, the irony of it is a program or a product, well, let's call it a program. That's really what Obamacare is. It's governmental insurance. A program that was meant to help the American people is causing them more harm. And sometimes it's just a horrible pill to swallow. But as with all things about Obamacare, even the pill you're supposed to swallow doesn't make you feel good. And frankly, given where some things related to Obamacare are going to get stuck, yeah, you begin to understand why it is that Obamacare can be very painful indeed. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just Obamacare, like I said, is one of those things. The more time you spend around it, the more you wind up hurting because of that. No, I am not. I am not going to insert a gay Obama joke here. I am not going to do it. No. He probably went to Dick Cheney's funeral today. So no, I'm not going to do that to the poor man. Oh my God. Just terrible. Oh, wait. So it's an Obamacare suppository? Oh, okay. Okay. Oh my God. See, I have always said about you and WWG1, you two are about like this, you two are about like frickin' frack, you know, heckle and jekyll, lie and swear to it. And this right here, the fact that y'all are like thinking of the immediate same joke in response to this meme makes me realize more. Are you two sure that you aren't long lost brothers or something? I mean, seriously. I mean, y'all make the same kind of jokes. You got the same kind of memes, you know. Oh, so this is what it is. You guys are sharing brain cells sometimes. Well, I can see that. I can absolutely see that. So, you know. Oh, salty, salty. Now we don't know that Michelle kept him at home today. Oh my gosh. Salty, you're awful. You're absolutely awful. My God, that was funny. Jeez. Oh, is this what happened? Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I see how it is. There you go. Anyway, moving right along. You know, this one goes out to all you parents out there. It is really, really tough. Parent teacher conferences. Okay. Your child comes home, you get their report card, particularly if you got little kids. Okay. And maybe if you don't have little kids, you're going to remember this better than anybody else, thinking back in the day. Report card comes home, the grades aren't good. You've got a note in there from the teacher requesting that, hey, we need to sit down and talk about your child's grades, see if we can come up with some kind of a plan to get your child's grades up. And that's totally reasonable and understandable. But it always fills parents with a certain amount of angst. I mean, look, parents are trying to do the best they can. They're trying to figure out, what it takes to motivate their student to study, or help them study or help them understand. So you go into these conferences with a certain amount of angst. And let me tell you, when you start talking to teachers, the reason why kids can't do well in school are wide and varied. But I don't know if anybody has ever quite run onto this kind of a situation. I mean, focus is one of the most important things for children if they're going to get a good education, you know. And there's just a lot of things that take their attention away from learning the basics. And for parents, they've got to talk that out with the teachers. So, you know, maybe someday we'll figure out what it is we need to do to eliminate the distractions that keep our kids from being able to focus the way they should. I mean, that's my hope anyway. I mean, look, we've got cell phones, we got iPads, we got TikTok, we got, you know, everything in the world. So if we can find a way to eliminate the distractions that keep our kids from not being able to focus, that would be a good thing. That'd be a very, very good thing. So look, for all you parents out there, okay, do not go into these conferences with dread. The teachers are actually trying to help. They really want to help you and your child. If you guys can find a way together to keep your child from being distracted, all the better. So there you go. Don't know what to tell you, brother. I mean, I got nothing for that one. I got nothing. Oh goodness. Oh goodness me. Mm-mm. And wait a minute. No, distractions are not necessary. We're trying to eliminate them so our kids can learn. I mean, come on now. Um, I was watching a video of a lady calling herself Teacher Bay. Oh my gosh. Oh my, jeez. Oh, okay, okay, all right. Now you're clarifying, but by her. Okay, well, oh my gosh, goodness me. Anyway, now look, for those of you out there who are happily married or maybe you're in a relationship, we're always trying to find new and interesting ways to spice things up. Um, we're trying to find new and interesting ways to make our intimate personal time more intimate and personal. Okay. And doctors are always trying to sell you on solutions to make things better. Okay. They're writing books about it. They're selling stuff on TV about it, whatever. I mean, it's all over the place. Okay. However, there is one doctor who has recently come up with a really good idea of how to make fun time between a man and a woman all that much better. I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine if a plastic surgeon actually did this? Oh my gosh, the fun that could be had. Um, this would be funny as all get out. I mean, seriously, if a plastic surgeon put a squeaky toy in every breast implant job, oh my word. Folks, I don't I don't know. I mean, talk about giving people a reason to love and touch each other, to reach out and touch someone. This right here would do it. I mean, really. I mean, or even, yeah, multiple squeaky sounding toys. You could have a duck sound. You could have an air horn. I mean, now that would be absolutely priceless. Holy cow. Oh my gosh. Just too good for words. Too good for words. So yeah, I'm telling you, if plastic surgeons actually did this, holy cow. God, you guys are awful. Absolutely awful. Oh, woo, woo. Oh man. Jeez. Oh my gosh, y'all are awful. Just absolutely awful. Oh my goodness. Ah, boy. Like I said, if a plastic surgeon ever figured out how to pull this off and not get sued for it, man, the relations between men and women would change drastically in this country. That's all I'm saying. Oh man, you're going back in the day for that one. That's all I'm saying. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right, hang on one second, folks. Gots to double check something here. Hang on. Oh, yes. Salty, thank you for sending me this because we're going to talk about that very item. But before we do, let me give some thanks. WWG1, TBA, and everybody is always contributing memes to this fine little live stream. Thank you so very much. If you have a meme and you would like to see it entered in for the possibility of getting it up on the screen, hey, the owner of this live stream reserves the right to use or not use what you send. But more often than not, if you send me a meme or even a story idea, that would be absolutely wonderful. So, hey, you see this right down here? That is my Twitter address. Tag me on Twitter with whatever it is you're about to send me, and let me take a look at it, be it a story or a meme, and we'll consider putting it up on screen. So, right down here, the Front Porch C1, and let's see what we can do about making you famous, or at least internet-wise, that is. All right. Let us get into some stories for the evening. And yeah. One more meme, and it kind of leads into our first story of the night. This was given by WWG1, and all things being equal, I would normally agree with this, that the Epstein files are going to cause the Democrat Party a bigger headache than perhaps anybody else. However, not all things are necessarily equal. Okay. So, what am I talking about? Well, let's start with the good news. From NBC News, Trump signs bill to release DOJ's Epstein files. The legislation requires Attorney General Pam Bondi to release all unclassified records related to Epstein within 30 days. All right, that's the good news. Trump finally got his head pulled out of his posterior. Notice, folks, I'm trying to keep it classy here because this is a family-oriented live stream. Trump finally pulled his head out of his posterior and did what he should have done a long time ago. Release everything. Authorize its release, put it all out there. That's the good news. Now, here begins the bad news. Now, I want to take you back to an article from NBC News we looked at Tuesday night, and I want to show you one part of it, okay? And it's this. Notice this sentence right here. The legislation says the Attorney General may withhold or redact any information that identifies victims or would jeopardize an active federal investigation. Let me read that last part again. May withhold or redact any information that, number one, identifies victims, or two, jeopardizes an active federal investigation. Now, you say to yourself, but Brian, what could possibly be so bad about all that? Did you see Pam Bondi the other day make comments about the Epstein bill? Guys, I got a bad feeling. And I try to be as optimistic in these matters as I possibly can. But I got a bad feeling that, Charlie Brown is going to try and kick the football again, only to have Pam pull it away. What am I talking about? Okay, let's get to this. So Pam Bondi gives a press conference the other day where she is flanked by Kash Patel and the Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. And they're actually talking about a completely another matter. Now, this presser is held right on the same day that Congress passed the Epstein bill, okay, or maybe the morning. Oh boy, let's just get into this. So there is, Pam Bondi, and Blanche is on her left, Patel's on her right. Folks, we're going to stop this at various points where we need to, but you guys need to hear this. And you know what? I've got the suspicion, given how smart and sophisticated this audience is, what she's going to say is not going to come as much of a shock to you. But still, we got to be reminded this is Pam Bondi. So with that, here we go. Notice she said to the hill, but I didn't hear her say to the people. Call me crazy, but Anyway, go on, Pamela. Tell us some more. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Hold it. Well, okay, I see the complaints. One moment, please. Hello, Bill Dozer. One moment, folks. We'll fix this right now. Sorry about that. Okay, let's try that again, shall we? Let me know if the sound is working, and here we go.
New investigation by the Southern District of New York U.S. Attorney prevent the department from releasing all of the remaining files?
So we have released over 33,000 Epstein documents to the Hill, and we'll continue to follow the law and to have maximum transparency. Also, we will always encourage all victims to come forward.
Okay, now so far, So far, this answer sounds pretty good. Obey the law, maximum transparency. Okay, we've released 33,000 documents related to Epstein to Capitol Hill. Again, I got a problem with that. Should have been directed to the people. But okay, so far this answer is pretty good. Okay. It's where it goes from here starts to be the problem. Check this out.
What are the next steps, Madam Attorney General, for the DOJ regarding what we assume President Trump will sign into law with the Epstein files? Is this going to be on the Justice Department website? What are you doing here over the next 30 days, as we understand it?
Okay, and that's a perfectly reasonable question. If you don't know or don't remember, the Epstein file bill calls for the Department of Justice within 30 days of signing to release whatever they've got. Okay. All right, cool. Hey, Kawan, how you doing tonight, my friend? Glad to have you in the house. So that's what it calls for. So the reporter asks a very reasonable question. What are you guys going to be doing over the next 30 days in preparation for this? Are you going to post this stuff on the Department of Justice website? How are you going to do this? Very reasonable question. Here's her answer.
We will continue to follow the law with maximum transparency while protecting victims.
Okay, I have a one-word response to all that. Duh. We're going to follow the law while giving maximum transparency and protecting the victims. And in other news, water is wet. That's Pamela. That's what you're supposed to be doing anyway. I know. He looks like he does not want to be there. He's got this look on his face like, look straight ahead. Don't make eye contact. Don't look at anybody. Cash Patel doesn't want to be there. No, he does not want to be there. So you are absolutely right to point this out. Oh, Kawan, you are so right. You are so right, my friend. They're painful to watch for a lot of reasons. Lay aside how you feel about their legal positions. Okay. We're talking about the most grossly incompetent bunch I've ever seen. And I've watched quite a few Department of Justices come and go, okay? I'm not going to sit here and say, well, at my age, I remember back in the spring of 85 when Dick Thornburg, I'm not that bad yet, close. But I've seen enough of them to know good ones and bad ones. And these guys suck, okay? Like I said, lay aside whatever you think about their legal positions. These people haven't got enough brains to pour warm piss out of a boot. Okay? They're terrible. They're absolutely terrible on so many levels. But yeah, all right. So we're going to follow the law, which you're supposed to be doing anyway. We're going to do it with maximum transparency, which you're supposed to be doing anyway. And we're going to protect the victims, which you're going to be supposed to be doing anyway. All right, let's see what other profundities General Bondi is about to give us.
Yeah. When you say follow the law, Madam Attorney General, do you mean that you will provide all the files by 30 days?
We will follow the law. The law passed both chambers last evening. It has not yet been signed, but we will continue to follow the law, again, while protecting victims, but also providing maximum transparency.
And again, that's what you're supposed to be doing anyway. And hello to the pit crew in Cincinnati. Glad to have you all here with us, and we hope that wonderful little dog is resting comfortably listening to my docile tones. This woman's an idiot. Pam Bondi, not the pit crew. I love you guys. Pam Bondi is an idiot. Pam Bondi is an absolute idiot. I want to back that up because look, you guys know my problems with the press, okay? Most of them are a bunch of partisan hacks. These people are asking reasonable questions, okay? I hate to say it. I hate to say it, but come on. In this moment, Pam Bondi's not doing herself any favors. Let's back this up because I want to play this again. Okay.
We will follow the law. The law passed both chambers last evening. It has not yet been signed, but we will continue to follow the law, again, while protecting victims, but also providing maximum transparency.
That. Madam Attorney General, the DOJ statement earlier this year saying that the files would not release mentioned the fact that the review of the documents and the evidence did not suggest that any additional investigation of third parties was warranted. What changed since then that you launched this investigation?
Now, if you're wondering what that reporter is referring to, there is a inquiry being launched out of the Southern District of New York. Okay, and remember, the Attorney General's got the right to redact if it interferes with any active investigation. So back to her response.
Information that has come for information. There's information that new.
Oh God, this is downright funny. Hang on.
Statement.
Okay, let me back that up just a few seconds more. Listen to what he asks.
See.
That. Madam Attorney General, the DOJ statement earlier this year saying that the files would not release mentioned the fact that the review of the documents and the evidence did not suggest that any additional investigation of third parties was warranted. What changed since then that you launched this investigation?
Information that has come for information. There's information that new information, additional information, and again, we will continue to follow the law, to investigate any leads. If there are any victims, we encourage all victims to come forward, and we will continue to provide maximum transparency under the law.
Information. I feel like I'm watching Dustin Hoffman and Rain Man. 52 card. The 52, the 52 is a good card. That's a good card. Yeah, you want to pick that one up. Oh my God. This woman is just. She's like a blonde Dustin Hoffman from Rain Man. It's ridiculous. Information. New information. Yeah, new information. No, good. New information. You know, Kawan, that is a great question. Well, my dear, that is part of why we have this wonderful little live stream. For those moments in life when you can't get to watch what you'd like to, you can come here, sit down, drink a cup of something, hopefully. And, forgot to put that on silent. You can come here and you can figure it out. I don't want to call her. No, thank you. Nope. Yeah, I agree with that. Totally. I mean, he should have stuck to his guns and pushed Matt Gaetz through for the Attorney General. He really should have. I'd like to know what it was. I'd love to know. Anyway, back to her statements and her answering questions.
Wedding, Madam General. On Ryan Wedding, you mentioned,
Madam Attorney General, the issue with the new information that you just indicated, is the department seeking information perhaps from the Epstein estate because Mr. Blanche did not have that information when he interviewed Ghislaine Maxwell? What new information? And would you limit the new investigation to just those named persons that the president talked about, or is this a broad, open-ended investigation?
I would refer to the Deputy Attorney General's post that he put out on X.
Look at the look on his face. He's like, "You ain't dragging me into this." I mean, look at that look on his face. He's like, "You ain't dragging me into this, woman. You're on your own." No, oh no. Babe. You walk that plank all by yourself. Whoo. He's giving her the no, absolutely not. You're out. You're doing fine out there all by yourself, Pamela. Just keep right on walking, honey. Woo. Oh yeah. I agree with you. Neither one of them want to be there because they've got the good sense to know what's happening. I mean, they held this, like I said, they held this presser for a completely unrelated subject, right? It was right on the heels of the Epstein bill passing Congress. Did these three nitwits not think that somebody or a group of somebodies wasn't going to ask them about it? I mean, Blanche had the good sense to know what was going to happen. Kash Patel's got a look on his face like, I knew what you were going to ask me, and I do not want to be here. Get me out of here right now. She's oblivious. Apparently, she didn't realize what was coming. Oh my Lord. Anyway, back to it. Gosh.
And we're not going to say anything else on that because now it is a pending investigation in the Southern District of New York.
Oh, great. We got a pending investigation. And you know what that means? If she gets her way about it, redact, remove that paragraph, take out that page, redact. Guys, the black ink is going to roll. Anyway, there's about another. Yeah, okay. No, that's the whole video. That's the whole video. So Pam has now weighed in. Well, she managed in all this to get the Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche to weigh in on this matter. Hang on one second. Oh, there it is. She got him to weigh in on this. And guys, let me tell you something. Not good. Here we go.
Thank you. Do you want to take a?
I didn't hear the second.
Yeah, go
What
ahead.
was the question? The Attorney General has previously said that she would refuse to release any information that would re-victimize the victims, and I'm just wondering whether that stands, after the passage of this law.
Well, the law isn't signed into law yet, and of course we're going to protect victims, and the law as written allows us to do that. The law has carve-outs to protect victims and to protect information surrounding victims, which is what we do not only in this case but in every case. So it's a fair question, but neither the House nor the Senate's version, the same version, suggested otherwise. So
Thank you.
So now, having given their complete, information, follow the law, protect the victims, information, protect the victims, follow the law, answer, they all three decide to trot off. Now, Trump signed that thing into law, it was yesterday or today. Either way, we're talking somewhere by the 19th of December or the 20th at the latest. Whatever they've got is supposed to be released. Okay? And remember, there are only two things that they get an exception to not release for. If it endangers the victims or it somehow messes around with an active federal investigation. Now, here's the irony of it. Many of the victims, maybe not all of them, but many of the victims of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell have said publicly, hey, look, we don't care. Release our information. Release our names. We don't care. Look, what else can you do to us at this point? They've already said it. Put our names out there. We don't care. Okay, well, now, as a matter of fact, I'd take it one step further. If I were a smart lawyer in D.C., I'd get in contact with the lawyers representing these victims and say, hey, look, I'll draft you up an affidavit and your client can sign it saying we release the Justice Department from any liability if our names are disclosed as part of compliance with this law. Or maybe the victim's lawyers are already thinking the same thing, and they're handing these affidavits into the Justice Department. I don't know, but if they really want to do an end run on bombshell Blondie here, and do an end run on her and Cash and Todd Blanche, that's absolutely what I'd do. I'd give them an affidavit saying I release you from all liability if you release my name as part of this. Just take away their excuse to be able to do what they're probably wanting to do. And that is redact, hide names, hide information, etc. I'm sorry, there are going to be people inside the Justice Department that are going to do everything they can to keep this information from coming to light. Now, maybe I'm being overly pessimistic about this. Probably I am. But on the other hand, y'all know the history of the Justice Department, okay? This is worrying me to death. Now, apparently one person not too worried about it is one of the people who won big the other day, Thomas Massey. Thomas Massey did a video for the folks back home in his district, and he was talking about this very subject. Listen to what he's got to say.
There's concern that the president's going to open a bunch of investigations to keep the disclosures from happening. Here's the reality. There are 1,000 victims of Epstein's sex trafficking ring. There are dozens of perpetrators. There's no way he can open enough investigations to keep us from getting the files that will implicate most of these men. So I think we're going to see justice. I'm excited. If there's any hope, you've seen it here today and yesterday here in the House of Representatives that we can actually get a bill passed if the people want it bad enough. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Maybe he's right. Maybe he's right. Well, this could be true. This could be true too, my friend. Could be very true. Maybe Massey is right. There's too many victims. There's too many people. Maybe Trump and let me back that up. Maybe the Justice Department isn't going to be able to find a way to not release everything they've got. I still go back to something that has been said by many people. Massey and Ro Khanna, his co-sponsor, the Democrat from California, they should have broadened this. They should have said, okay, not just the Department of Justice, but the CIA, the NSA, the State Department, and the Treasury Department. If any of you cabinet departments have any information related to Jeffrey Epstein, you have to disclose it within 30 days, unredacted. No way. I'm sorry. Look, there are people, and I've said this before and I'll say it again. There are people who are much better experts on this whole Jeffrey Epstein issue than I am. But they ain't no way in the world, even to a layman like me, there ain't no way in the world that I can come to any other conclusion than that Jeffrey Epstein was an intelligence asset, either for us or somebody else. And if everybody wants to get to the bottom of this thing and figure out the who, what, where, when, and why, don't stop at the Justice Department. You need to go to the CIA. You need to go to the Treasury Department. You need to go to all these different cabinet departments and compel them. Whatever they got, you got to release it. So, we're going to get a bunch of racist papers? Oh, all in black. Well, Salty, you may be right, my friend. And yeah, and that's probably why not. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. Very rough. Very rough indeed. So, keep your eyes open, folks. Keep your eyes open. All right. Let me step away for one quick second, and then I'll be right back. In the meanwhile, while I step away for 1 second, I just need to do one thing real fast. Hey, for those of you watching right now, maybe you're not a member of Fedora Nation, it's real easy to solve that problem. Go out to Rumble or go out to YouTube, subscribe to my channel, and while you're doing that, hit the thumbs up button for tonight, leave a comment in chat, hit the bell for notifications, make sure you're always aware when something new's coming out, and help us grow the channel. And with that, I will be right back. Give me about 30 seconds, folks. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. One moment, please. Gotta take care of something real quick. Okay, I'm on my way back. Don't panic, everybody. Still here. All good. In 4, 3, 2, 1. Told you I'd come back. No, I didn't. I did not do that, sir. And no, I didn't. No, I didn't do that either. Oh my gosh. Eesh. If you really must know, I was feeling a bit nasally, and I simply, tried to make sure that my nose was not going to be a problem. Thank you very much. Changing my diapers. Pissed myself. Oh my God. Yes. And yeah, thank you. Hit the like button. Look, I'm trying to bring you news and a little bit of laugh. And what do I get for it? Grief. Oy vey. Well, keep in mind, one man's 30 seconds is another man's minute or two. So, yeah, exactly. Jeez. All right. Part of what I labeled tonight's live stream is GOP cowards and sellouts. Now, before we get into that section of the live stream, I have to make a confession to you, my audience. And this is a burden that I have borne. It didn't necessarily run away as much as I sort of gathered it back in. Anyway, I am in recovery. And I attend meetings on a regular basis. And the name of the group that I belong to is Republicans Anonymous. I have been in Republicans Anonymous since January of 2021, when I made the brave and daring decision to leave the Republican Party. And Republican Anonymous meetings are actually pretty cool. We have coffee, we have cookies, and every so often it's a recovery program. It really is. It's a recovery program for people who are former Republicans. And we're trying to, I'm not sure how many steps there are in our recovery, but we're working to make ourselves better. And much like other meetings, you come around, you introduce yourself. Hi, my name is Brian. I'm a former Republican. Hi, Brian. So, you got that going on. But yeah, this is true. But being a member of the Republican Party these days is pretty horrid if you get right down to it. Yeah, I do. I take it one day at a time in this recovery. Yeah, I really do. Now, you may ask yourself, Brian, why are you a recovering Republican? Well, let me explain that. Oh, okay. I will not be a Republican with you today. Well, okay, appreciate that. People ask me all the time, well, why are you not a member of the Republican Party anymore? I mean, you're still very conservative, obviously, and you got a good mind for history and et cetera. Well, it's stories about what we're going to talk about makes me glad I'm not a Republican anymore. And even if I hadn't already left the party, it's stuff like this that makes me want to leave, would make me want to leave. Now, do you guys know the name Stacey Plaskett? That name sound familiar to you guys? Or maybe you've heard of her name in recent days. Now, if you don't know who she is, I'll pop this up on screen. This is from thehill.com. Stacey Plaskett is a Democrat delegate for the U.S. Virgin Islands. Okay. And back in 2019, when Michael Cohen, Trump's former lawyer, was being grilled by a congressional committee, she was getting text messages. Now, catch this. She was getting text messages during the committee hearing from none other than Jeffrey Epstein. Let me say that again. During a 2019 committee hearing with Michael Cohen, Trump's former lawyer, Stacey Plaskett was getting text messages directly from Jeffrey Epstein, giving her suggestions on what kind of questions to ask, how to frame them, how to word them, etc., and so on. Okay. Well, when this got out, as you might imagine, people inside the Republican Party were just about fit to be tied. So much so, in fact, that they tried to censor her. It's basically a motion a motion to censure. In other words, a public condemnation. In other words, the House of Representatives gets together and gives you the equivalent of one big old slap on the wrist. You were a naughty person. Don't do this again. Now, a censure outside of Washington, D.C. doesn't mean a whole lot. But if you are censured by your fellow colleagues, okay, in this very exclusive 435-person club, that's bad. So a move was made the other night to censure Stacey Plaskett for what she did back in 2019. Because until recently, nobody knew this had happened. Okay. It wasn't until certain documents start getting released that we realize, holy crap, this guy, Epstein, was texting members of Congress trying to figure out ways to screw Donald Trump publicly. Okay. Now, you would think with the Republicans controlling the House of Representatives that voting on a censure of a Democrat member wouldn't be that hard to do, right? You would think, especially given how unpopular Jeffrey Epstein, I mean, like I said the other night, he's got the popularity of venereal disease, okay? This man is just, the mention of his name, people go, yeah. And then you find out that you got a Democrat member of Congress in cahoots with the guy, sitting there during a committee hearing, receiving, and sending text messages back and forth with a known pedophile. You wouldn't think it would be that hard for the Republicans to get together and, if for no other reason, by pure Republican votes, publicly censure this woman, right? Right? Shouldn't be that hard to do. The motion to censor this woman failed. Why, you may ask? because 3 Republicans voted against it and 3 Republicans voted present. The motion failed. Okay. The Republicans, who are the majority party in the House of Representatives, and the Republicans, who are not Democrats, by the way. Okay. Remember, this was a Democrat representative that got caught doing this. So this one should be pretty easy. Okay. This one should be pretty easy for the Republicans. This one's a slam dunk. Just go in there, vote yes on the motion to censure, and slap her, give her the political equivalent of an enormous slap on the wrist and publicly shame this woman for doing this. They couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. And why, you ask, could they not do it? 2 words. Corey Mills. Now, you might be sitting there asking yourself the question, who's Corey Mills? What is a Corey Mills? And what does Corey Mills have to do with any of this? From thehill.com. Oh my, look at that. Who's Corey Mills? Well, I'll read a little bit of this. Who wrote this article? Sarah Fortinsky and Emily Brooks. Representative Corey Mills, Republican of Florida, has once again become the target of a censure effort in Congress. Representative Nancy Mace said Wednesday she plans to introduce a privileged motion to censure her fellow Republican colleague, which would force the GOP leadership to act on the measure within 2 legislative days. A procedural vote on the matter could come as early as Wednesday night. Mills has been the target of 3 distinct censure efforts by Democrats in recent months, but each was a retaliatory threat in response to a Republican attempt to censor a Democrat. The censures of those Democrats failed, so Democrats declined to force votes on censoring Mills. So let me get this straight, because I know you, my audience, have already figured this out. You mean to tell me the reason that we couldn't censure, or when I say we, that the House of Representatives could not censor this Democrat, this delegate, not even a congressperson, they're a delegate from the Virgin Islands. We couldn't even censure a delegate who's a Democrat from the Virgin Islands on the grounds that if we'd have done that, the Democrats would have turned around and censored Corey Mills. And by the way, let's review again the reason why they wanted to censure Stacey Plaskett. Okay? She's sitting there during a committee hearing, getting and receiving and sending text messages to and from Jeffrey Epstein, a known pedophile. And why is Epstein sending in these text messages? To give suggestions on how to ask questions to make Donald Trump look even more worse in a bad light. Oh my goodness. Hello, Miss Shorty. Hello, Gina. How you doing, darling? Wow. Good to have you in the house tonight. So, the Republicans who control the House of Representatives couldn't bring themselves to censor a Democrat who was getting text messages from Jeffrey Epstein on the grounds that if the Republicans censored this Democrat, then the Democrats would turn around and censure a Republican. Or try to. Now, you ask yourself the question, well, what did Corey Mills do that would cause somebody to want to censor him? Oh, check this out. The Florida Republican has found himself at the center of numerous controversies this year. Most recently, a Florida judge granted a restraining order to an ex-girlfriend who requested one against Mills. She had accused the congressman of harassing and threatening to release intimate photos of her after the breakup earlier this year. The breakup came after the woman learned that Mills, in February, was under investigation for allegedly assaulting another romantic partner. That woman has since recanted her allegations of abuse, and Mills has not been charged with any crime. Mills, who is married, has denied the allegations from both women. Last year, Mills also faced a stolen valor accusation from a primary challenger who said Mills misrepresented his 4 years of military career and questioned how and why he was awarded the Bronze Star. The congressman has denied the allegations. Okay. And then, on top of all that, earlier this year, the Office of Congressional Conduct released a report alleging Mills may have held weapons contracts with the federal government while serving in Congress. Oy vey! Now, before y'all say anything, is he innocent until proven guilty? Yeah. But if this were any other time, the Republicans would have bounced this guy out so fast it make your head spin. But because they've got to protect one of their own and protect that ever so slender majority they've got, they're going to defend this guy, a man who is accused of harassing women and possibly beating a woman and holding military contracts while a sitting member of Congress. Yeah, well, they need the votes, but how about, I'd argue that they need something else. How about integrity? I know asking politicians in Washington, D.C. to have integrity is almost like, asking for the sky to turn purple. But, call me crazy. Maybe if they did that, they'd have a little bit more respect. And not just a little more respect, maybe it would help them out with things coming up like, I don't know, elections. Did I think to save this? Hold on a minute. Oh, and by the way, you don't need to worry about, Corey Mills getting censored, because let me back this up a second. So after what happened with Plaskett, Nancy Mace, formerly in the military herself, said, fine, we'll just solve the problem once and for all. We'll just, we'll go ahead and censor Corey Mills. Well, don't worry. It didn't happen. House scuttles Corey Mills censure vote as GOP lawmakers battle one another. This was from yesterday at about 9:30 at night. The House scuttled a Wednesday resolution to censure Corey Mills, Republican of Florida, and remove him from his committees over a swath of personal controversies, capping off days of Republicans battling one another over whether or how to punish other lawmakers. Unbelievable. And they wonder why they have and get no respect from anybody. Which also, hang on a minute, I got to find this real fast. Yeah, here it is. Did you guys hear about this the other day? No, actually, this just came out today. You begin to understand why I'm a recovering Republican. It's crap like that. And it helps me understand more and more things like this. Heartland Rasmussen poll, 41. Now listen to this. This is scary. Honestly, this, what I'm about to read you, is scary. Listen to this. 41% of young voters support giving artificial intelligence sweeping government powers. 41% of likely voters ages 18 to 39 voiced support for a proposal to give an advanced AI system authority to control public policy-making decisions. 36% of likely voters aged 18 to 39 said they would support a proposal that would give AI, quote, the authority to determine the rights that belong to individuals and families, including rights related to speech, religious practices, government authority, and property. 35% said they would support a proposal to give AI authority to control all of the world's largest militaries. Folks, do you realize what the results of this poll are saying? You have almost half of people, young people, okay, ages 18 to 39, who are basically, they have given up on humanity being able to govern themselves in a responsible manner. They are willing to turn over decision-making authority to a machine. Now, maybe their reasons are wide and varied. I would argue this, okay? I would argue they're willing to do it because of stuff like I just talked about. They are looking at our current political leadership and they're coming to the conclusion, screw the Republicans, screw the Democrats, a pox on both of their houses. They don't care about me. They don't care about justice. To hell with them all. Let's just take all the decision making that we got to do. We'll give it to this computerized system, and the computer can dispense answers about speech, religious practices, government authority, and what kind of property I ought to have, or property you ought to have. This is how bad we have gotten as a society, that you have a significant portion of people that do not believe that we can govern ourselves. That we would be better off if a machine were doing it. That is frightening on so many levels and for so many reasons. And like I said, the one aspect of it that frightens me the most is this. Young people are looking at their elected political leaders and they're saying, these people cannot govern me. They can't govern anybody. All they do is they go up there, they fight, they take more for themselves, which means I get less. So let's just wipe the system, hand it over to a machine, and let the machine make the decisions. Because it's obvious that we as human beings don't have the ability to do it anymore. That's scary. That is absolutely scary. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And here's the thing. Someday, that 41% will be in control with the ability potentially to do it. Salty. When I read stories like that, makes me, yeah, we all picked a bad day to stop. Yeah, whatever habits we've got. Yeah, well, yeah. Rhonda, I agree with that. I agree with that. I mean, like I say, the results of that poll are frightening on so many levels and so many reasons. I might have to break out that meme, man. I'm telling you. Jeez. Yeah, it's just, and you wonder why I'm a recovering Republican. Like I've told you guys, I recently celebrated a birthday, and I'm at peace with the age that I am. Do I wish there were things that I could still do like I was in my 20s and 30s? Yeah, sure. But I tell you what, I'm glad I'm 54 years old and I'm not one of these 18 to 39-year-olds right now. I'm glad I grew up in the era that I did. I'm glad I received the education that I did. I'm glad I hold the beliefs that I do. Because like I said, that group of people, 41%, that want to hand over everything as far as decision making to a machine, that is frightening. Just absolutely terrifying. Dear God. Dear God. Anyway, well, let me shift gears a little bit. Let me ask you guys a question. Have you ever been at a sporting event and you've seen two players, one's on one team, one's on the other, and one player starts, how do I want to put this? Starts egging something on, like they're really trying to get under the other person's skin. And then before you know it, the second player reacts to what the first player is doing. And the referee sees the second player shove the first player and calls a foul or a penalty on the second guy, not realizing the first guy is the one that actually caused all the trouble. Now, this doesn't always happen the way I described. Sometimes the ref has the good sense to realize, yeah, I need to call a foul or a penalty on both of you. Okay? But more often than not, it's the second guy who gets the foul or the penalty called on them because they react to what someone else did. Okay, so you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Okay. No, the refs are not all in on the corruption for anyway. So I say all that I just said to set up the following. Have you guys seen this video that's going around?
I'm Senator Alyssa.
Hush, woman. Have you guys seen this video that's going around? Now, there's been a couple or three versions of it, but the one I've got, I think, is the original that starred the whole thing. If you have not seen this, I want you to watch this and let's talk about it for a second. This runs about 1:15. So check this out.
I'm Senator Alyssa Slotkin.
Senator Mark Kelly. Representative Chris DeLuzio.
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander.
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
Congressman Jason Crow. I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy. Former paratrooper and Army Ranger.
Former intelligence officer.
Former Air Force.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
and the intelligence community
who take risks each day to keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk. This administration is pitting our uniformed military
and intelligence community professionals
against American citizens like us.
Wait. How are they doing that? Let me back that up a second. I want you guys to hear that again.
Is pitting our uniformed military
and intelligence community professionals
against American citizens.
How is the Trump administration pitting members of the military and the intelligence community against the citizens of this country? Somebody please explain this to me. How's that happening? All right, well, let's go. Before we get that question answered, let's go a little further. There's about, call it another 30 or 40 seconds of this.
Like us, you all swore an oath
to protect and defend this Constitution.
right now,
The threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad, but from right here at home.
From who? Who are these threats coming from? Explain that to me. So you congressmen and senators, which by the way, did you notice all of them are Democrats? Somebody explain to me where all these threats are coming from. Maybe they'll get to it here in a second.
Laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can.
Okay, all right, makes sense, and that is, by the way, a perfectly defensible and legal position. Yeah, you can defy an illegal order. Not too controversial.
Refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law
or our Constitution.
Again, I don't think anybody necessarily disagrees with that. Let's go further.
We know this is hard and that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
The Army,
Our Navy,
The Air Force.
your vigilance is critical.
and know that we have your back.
Because now, more than ever,
The American people need you.
We need you to stand up for our laws.
our Constitution,
and who we
I'm Senator.
Okay, all right. So that's the video. Now I have questions, as the kids say these days. I have questions. Don't worry, brother. The Marines wouldn't have them. Okay, who is pitting our military and intelligence community against the American citizens? Who is giving illegal orders? Those are the two questions that I would ask, or I think any reasonable person would ask. And you know what? As much as I disagree with what they're doing, they are right. If you're a member of the military or the intelligence, you can refuse an illegal order. However, there is a unspoken assumption in that minute and 15-second video. You guys tell me what it is. What is the unspoken assumption in that video? I mean, I know what I'm thinking, but I want to see what you guys think. There's an unspoken assumption that's at the heart of that 1 minute and 15-second video. Tell me what it is. I'm dying to hear this. Okay. Okay, that's part of it. There's Trump's, yeah. Yeah, you must refuse. Yeah, okay, you're getting close. You're getting close. What is the unspoken assumption that lies at the heart of this video? I'll tell you what it is while you guys are still typing in your answers. Back up here a second. The unspoken assumption is that Trump is issuing illegal orders. That the Trump administration is issuing illegal orders. Yeah, there you go. Oh my God, Trump is leading us astray. These congressmen and senators are telling the military and the intelligence community of the United States government, hey, by the way, the president is issuing illegal orders that's putting you in conflict with the American citizenry, and you have the right to refuse an illegal order. Now I'll give the Democrats credit, okay? Yep, that's exact. Gypsy, you got it. You said it as yep, better than I ever could. That the unspoken assumption, our current president is handing down unlawful orders. Okay? And now I give the Democrats credit, okay? They're not explicitly telling the military and the intelligence community, hey, you need to refuse Trump's orders. They're couching it in a very clever dodge because they've set themselves up as a defense. Okay. The defense is that we didn't tell anybody to not obey your orders. We're just telling them that they don't have to obey an illegal order. That's going to be their defense. We didn't tell anyone not to obey your orders. We didn't tell anyone to not obey a perfectly lawful order. We just told everybody, oh, by the way, just remember, if you get an unlawful order, you can always refuse it. Well, remember the analogy that I used at the beginning of this segment, that if you have two players and one starts picking on the other, the second guy reacts. Well, the Democrats in this case are the first guy. Trump is the second guy. And how he reacted is how you might expect. He put out some posts on Truth Social because apparently this got back to him and he's had enough. This was early this morning. It's called seditious behavior at the highest level. Each one of these traitors to our country should be arrested and put on trial. Their words cannot be allowed to stand. We won't have a country anymore. An example must be set. President DJT. Oh, and that wasn't the only one, by the way. Here's another one. Let me enlarge this just a little bit, make it easier for you guys to read. Yeah, here we go. This is really bad and dangerous to our country. Their words cannot be allowed to stand. Seditious behavior from traitors. Lock them up. President DJT. But the coup de grace, the one that now has everybody's tongues wagging, okay, is this one. Seditious behavior punishable by death. Now, Kawan, under normal circumstances, I don't necessarily disagree with you. There are moments when Donald Trump can be an absolutely petulant child. Okay. However, I'm not so sure that he's altogether wrong on this one. Okay. Hang on one second, folks, because I want to pull up something real quick. Let me see if I can find the one. I'm trying to find something real fast, if I can do it. And let me do it this way. Yeah. Anyway. Sorry about that. No, I was looking for a reaction. I should have loaded it when I had the chance. Maybe I can still yet find it. Let me see. No. Oh yeah, here it is. I did save it. Good. So Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, gets asked about this today. And like I said, Kawan, normally I would agree with you. Trump can be an absolutely petulant child. However, you can understand the frustration of him and the White House. Here's Caroline Leavitt.
This morning, President Trump accused 6 Democratic lawmakers of seditious behavior punishable by death. Just to be clear, does the president want to execute members of Congress?
No. Let's be clear about what the president is responding to, because many in this room want to talk about the president's response, but not what brought the president to responding in this way. You have sitting members of the United States Congress who conspired together to orchestrate a video message to members of the United States military, to active duty service members, to members of the national security apparatus, encouraging them to defy the president's lawful orders. The sanctity of our military rests on the chain of command. And if that chain of command is broken, it can lead to people getting killed. It can lead to chaos. And that's what these members of Congress who swore an oath to to abide by the Constitution are essentially encouraging. We have 1.3 active duty service members in this country. And if they hear this radical member,
we have 1.3 service members. Dear Lord, I knew things were rough in the military. I didn't think they were that bad. Anyway, continue, Caroline.
Message from sitting members of Congress, that could inspire chaos and it could incite violence and it certainly could disrupt the chain of command. These 3 members of Congress, I will also add, knew exactly what they were doing. You look at Alyssa Slotkin. She's a former member of the CIA. Mark Kelly was a captain in the U.S. Navy. Maggie Goodlander was a naval officer. And notably, she is also the wife of Joe Biden's national security former advisor, Jake Sullivan. And so these members knew what they were doing. They were leading into their credentials as former members of our military, as veterans, as former members of the national security apparatus to signal to people serving under this commander-in-chief, Donald Trump, that you can defy him and you can betray your oath of office. That is a very, very dangerous message, and it perhaps is punishable by law. I'm not a lawyer. I'll leave that to the Department of Justice and the Department of War to decide.
Okay. Again, the unspoken assumption in that video is Trump is issuing unlawful orders. The Democrats who made that video are trying to remind them, oh, by the way, you don't have to obey an unlawful order. Now, like I said, Trump can be absolutely and hey, trust me, I don't like that one either. I'm with you on that one, Kawan. But this is one of those deals that's just so blatant. Everybody ought to realize what the Democrats are doing. Now, you remember the analogy I used that, that Trump is the second player reacting to what the first player does. So the Democrats put this video out. Trump reacts to it. Okay. And then the Democrats are like, oh my God. I mean, here's Gavin Newsom. Trump just reposted this. It is a call to hang Democrat lawmakers who spoke out against Trump. No. Wait a minute. No, I don't think I am. Look, if the shoe were on the other foot, Kawan, I'd say the same thing. If Republicans were trying to get the military or the intelligence community to do this against a Democrat president, hey, I'd be just as upset. I'd like to think I'm intellectually that honest about it. Okay. But this is legit. It's very subtle what the Democrats are doing in that video. Okay. It's very subtle. It's very easy to see, but it's very subtle. Oh no, we never told anyone to not obey a lawful order. We're just reminding everyone. I'm just reminding everyone that, you don't have to obey an unlawful order. The assumption in that statement being that Donald Trump is issuing unlawful orders. Well, whenever we get to the Republican Anonymous meetings, we do talk about this expression all the time. A lot of us do bring this up. We really do. But now you got the Democrats. Trump says something. Now you can agree with it, disagree with it, what have you. That's perfectly fine. The Democrats do something. Trump reacts to it. Okay. The Democrats start pointing out, oh, he's a bully. Why do I get the feeling that this was a setup? I mean, seriously, why do I get the feeling this was a setup? They set Trump up knowing he was going to react to something like this. And then now they've got him out there on the record having written this stuff on Truth Social. And now they point to and go, oh my God, he's terrible. Think I exaggerate a little bit? Yeah, well, no, I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you at all. Yeah, I think it was a trap of one kind or another. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, watch this. Senator Chuck Schumer, that wonderful old gentleman from New York State, bless his heart, goes to the floor of the U.S. Senate, and listen to this. This is going to blow your ever-loving mind.
Earlier today, Donald Trump shared a post on Truth Social calling for Democratic members of Congress to be hanged. He also posted a message that said, seditious behavior, punishable by death.
Yes, he did, on both counts. Go on, Chucky boy.
Let's be crystal clear. The President of the United States is calling for the execution of elected officials.
If they engage in seditious behavior, sir. But okay, let's make sure we clarify that. If they engage in seditious behavior. Let's clarify that, Chucky. All right, go on, big boy.
This is an outright threat, and it's deadly serious. We have already seen what happens when Donald Trump tells his followers that his political opponents are enemies of the state. Every time Donald Trump posts things like this, he makes political violence more likely.
Oh, my God. This coming from Chuck Schumer, the man who told Kavanaugh and Gorsuch that if they ruled the wrong way on an abortion case before the Supreme Court, that they had sown to the wind and they would reap the whirlwind. How many times has Chuck Schumer and his fellow Democrats just amp up the ante with rhetoric that's just so over the top that people start taking matters into their own hands? Seriously? Seriously. Anyway, oh, please go on, Chuck. I want to hear what you have to say.
None of us should tolerate this kind of behavior.
Agreed.
We all remember what January 6th was like. We lived through January 6th. We've lived through the assassination and attempted assassinations this year. We have members whose families have had to flee their homes. When Donald Trump uses the language of execution and treason, some of his supporters may very well listen.
Oh my God. Really? You mean the same way that the guy listened to you Democrats and went and shot Steve Scalise at a congressional baseball game? You mean the way that various people took shots at Donald Trump last year or tried to? You mean the way that someone executed Charlie Kirk? Really? You're worried about Donald Trump supporters? Get out of here, you cronial bum. Anyway, a little more of this.
He is lighting a match in a country soaked with political gasoline.
Yeah, and you ought to know. You're the one that poured the gasoline, big boy. Oh, my God. Oh, yeah, I know. Oh, they ain't going to give that up. They are not going to give that up. I'll make you a prediction right now. If the Democrats win back power in 2028 in the presidency, I guarantee you that it will not be the new Democrat president won't be sworn in. The Democrats are going to hold some kind of January 6th vigil before the newly elected Democrat president comes into office. And guaranteed, going forward, every January 6th that Democrat president is in office, they're going to hold some kind of vigil commemorating what they perceive to be the downfall of American democracy. You watch and see if I'm not right. So, yeah. The Democrats are the first player in the game. They start egging on and agitating the other guy. Trump's the second player. He shoves them. And now the Democrats come back and go, oh, look at the mean bad guy. Yeah. Walked right into it, didn't you, Donald? Walked right into it. Oh, boy. Anyway. All right. We're going to bring this train into the station. As always, I want to thank you guys ever so much for being here and hanging out with us on the electronic front porch. Thank you for being here for the Thursday night newsroom. You guys are totally awesome. Thank you to everybody for the memes. Thank you for all the story ideas. Thank you for all that. Hey, we're going to be here this Saturday morning. Okay. We are doing Front Porch Brunch, 10:30 a.m. We are going to do a Front Porch Brunch. I am so looking forward to it. We haven't done one of those in a while for various reasons. And yeah, we're overdue. So yeah, we're going to get in a Front Porch Brunch. So do me some favors as you get ready to leave. If you're not subscribed to my channel on YouTube and Rumble, would you do me a favor and give me a sub? I'd greatly appreciate it. Secondly, would you please, pretty please, hit the bell for notifications. It always helps whenever, we want to make sure you're always aware when new stuff's coming out. Also, hit the thumbs up button on tonight's video. Doesn't matter if you're on YouTube, doesn't matter if you're on Rumble. Hit the thumbs up button. It really does help out. Also, leave a comment. If you like what we're doing, hey, it would be nice to hear from you. All right. Next stop, 10:30 a.m. Saturday morning for Front Porch Brunch. In the meanwhile, you guys have a great night. Oh yeah, they were very feisty this evening. And you know what, Gypsy? You're welcome. You're welcome. And thank you, Miss. Thank you very much, Miss Pate. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, Rhonda. My apologies. Anyway, love you guys very much. Guys, you've been great. Yeah, be there or be square. So there you go. There you go. All right. Anyway, have a great rest of your Thursday night. See you Saturday morning. And remember the words of that great American philosopher, Tom T. Hall. It's faster horses, younger lovers, older whiskey, and more money. Love you guys very much. See you Saturday morning at 10:30. Have a great night.